Once upon a time, the thing that set businesses apart was that they simply had a website. It ain't like that anymore though, bud. What's up? It's me, Dave again, from Good Rep Media. And today, we're going to talk about website design. Exciting, I know, but first, roll that intro. We're in a day and age where simply having a website isn't enough. You have to have a website that looks great, is easy to navigate, and works well on a phone, and that's just for starters. Website design matters more now than ever, and you need to be certain that you're putting your best foot forward. Your website is a reputation of your company online, and if you don't have the right site for the times we live in, it's going to cost you business. If you're still not convinced, that's fine, and just keep watching, because I'm going to show you the way, brother. A good website builds trust. If you go to a website and it looks like it's straight out of the 90s, the first thing that you think is, wow, this is a half-baked scam, and you don't trust it, let alone stay on the website.
I was considered the youngest and most daring con man in U.S. history.
We're visual creatures and often make snap judgments based on what we see. In a recent study, Stanford actually found that 75% of users will judge you solely on how your website looks. They immediately make correlations between your website's design and how credible and trustworthy you and your business are. Think of it like this. People judge you and your company based on how your website looks before they even read a single word or click a single link. So it doesn't matter if you have something amazing to say. If your site doesn't look trustworthy, then nobody's going to listen. If you don't have a well-designed site, it can hurt the chances of people finding you online. You may have heard a phrase thrown around called search engine optimization, aka SEO. In a nutshell, SEO is exactly what its name says. It's how optimized or friendly your website is built to show up easier in online searches. There's a lot of factors involved in SEO, and these factors change all the time, but at the very root of it all is how your website is designed. Google looks at the overall health and wellness of your website based on a number of different factors. In layman's terms, Google refers its users who are searching to websites that should give them what they're looking for. And Google's job is to make sure that the results are fantastic so people keep using their search engine again and again and again and again. So if your website just isn't very well, good, then Google's not going to refer people to it. Some things that Google looks at when deciding to show your website to people searching are, does your website load quickly? Is your website friendly on mobile devices? And do you have an updated sitemap? Local searches matter. Something else to consider is that people are using Google Maps to search for businesses every day in their local area. If you make sure that your site is Google friendly, you are far more likely to show up in those local listings towards the top. If you do have a Google Maps listing and if locals are clicking on your business, it's important you have a website linked to your listing, one that looks nice. It has to look nice. When someone searches for something in Google Maps, the intent to buy is often really high, so this is your chance to strike while the iron's hot. If they click on your website and it looks bad and loads slowly, or if they don't trust you right away, 9 times out of 10, you just lost out on money.
It's losing money!
Your website can tell your story 24/7. So many small business owners think of building their website as a chore or like homework, but that doesn't have to be the case. Remember, we're starting out the beauty of an online presence, and that beauty isn't just visually, but also in the connections that you build with customers. Don't just take the path of least resistance and put any old website up. This is your own little chunk of the internet. This is your chance to do whatever you want and to show your company's personality, making an impact. It's like living in an awesome neighborhood without a homeowners association, so you can do anything you want without them breathing down your neck. Control the message.
Use propaganda.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. On social media and other online platforms, you don't really have control over the messages and the user experience. You have to play by the rules of each platform, and they get to decide how it looks and how much real estate you have and how your information is shown. But on your website, you can present your visitors with the exact customer experience that you want and be fully in control. Tell your story. A story is far more memorable than any facts by themselves. Did you start your business to pay for mouth surgery for your newborn daughter? Tell people about it. They're going to eat it up. I promise. But keep your story short and keep it to the details that matter. A rule of thumb is pretend that you're in a room full of people at a local gathering. Someone asks you the question, so how'd you start in the such and such business anyways? Now you just answer that question. Remember, there's a difference between sharing and oversharing though. But don't be afraid to let your customers know who you are and what sets you apart in the form of a story. And you could even follow up your personalized story with some other things about your business that makes you unique. Here's an example. Here at Tucker Auto, we got into the car repair business because too many of our friends and family members were getting ripped off anytime they needed a car repair. My dad and my uncle started this business with only $50 and a set of tools in his garage. We're still the only mechanic in the country that will tow your car for free within 15 miles of our shop. See, now you're sitting there wondering who Tucker is. I told you that this stuff worked. If your website tells a great story and shows why you're different, customers that visit you online feel like they're getting to know your business and you more intimately. What does good mean anyway? What does good mean anyway, Dave? I'm gonna tell you right now. One person's... Well, that's not good. Look, one person's favorite song or movie is another person's most hated. I get it. So in a world where everyone is entitled to their opinion, how can you possibly make your website good? I'm gonna tell you. Tailor it to your audience. When we're talking about flexing our beauty online, we have to remember that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? The first way to ensure that you've got a great site that has a great design is to consider your audience. Who are you trying to attract? If you know what your customer would like on your website, you put it on there. This way they'll know what they can expect when they're dealing with you. A clean, professional, and rigid website may work really well for a financial advisor, but that same website is not gonna do it for our boy Tucker at Tucker Auto.
Hey, I'm Tucker.
Know your primary audience and cater to them when you're making decisions on how to design your online presence. While everyone is entitled to their opinion on specific things, there are some universally accepted principles that almost everyone would agree on. These are less about the colors you choose or the images and other elements, but more about the ideas behind the ideas that make a great website. None of these are 100% hard and fast rules, but they're definitely a great starting point. 1. Consistency. You should be consistent with your choices throughout the site, i.e. use the same logo as fonts, color schemes. It's important. 2. Easy to use. If your website isn't user-friendly, slow, or doesn't work on a phone, you're going to upset a modern customer, and no matter what look and feel your site has, it should be easy for somebody to use. It's all clearly labeled. Everything on your site should be clearly labeled. People need to be able to find what they're looking for without hunting. Keep it simple. Less is more. Only have menu options and pages for what you need to have, and don't try to explain every detail of what you do and offer on your site. If your site's clear, customers are going to reach out if they have in-depth questions. Lastly, ask people to contact you. Your website isn't just there as a monument to your business. It's a bridge for people to find you and then ultimately contact you and hopefully give you their money. Be sure your contact information is easy to find throughout the site, and use language that directly asks people to get in touch. Like, call us now, let's talk today, blah blah blah, like and subscribe. Small business websites can be awesome, but here at Good Rep Media, we understand that your website's design might not be something that you have the time or the energy to think about. But if you feel like your website needs a tune-up, so it isn't hurting you overall, we can absolutely help you. Don't settle for a website that undersells how fantastic you and your business really are. Follow that link in the description. Let us give you a free consultation today to see how we might be able to help. Once again, I'm Dave from Good Rep Media, signing out. See ya!